Hello, my name is Sri Shakti Krishna. I am applying for the Douglas O'Connell Global Internship for summer 2026, and this is my video. When I think about the kind of leader I want to become, I often return to the lives of Frederick Douglass and Daniel O'Connell. Frederick Douglass inspires me because he transformed personal sufferings into collective action. He didn't simply survive injustice, he challenged it and demanded that others confront it too. What stood out to me the most is his belief that education and moral clarity could disrupt entrenched systems of power. He understood that liberation requires both personal agency and public accountability. Daniel O'Connell, on the other hand, inspires me through his commitment to nonviolent political mobilization. He believed deeply in the power of democratic participation and legal reform. His leadership reminds me that progress doesn't always come from force. It comes from persistence, coalition building, and the courage to work within imperfect systems to expand who those systems serve. Together, their legacies shape the path I'm carving for myself, one rooted in dialogue and responsibility. They show me that leadership isn't about visibility or authority, but it's about choosing to act ethically, especially when it's inconvenient, and using your voice in servitude of something that is larger than yourself. That belief is also why gaining international work experience matters so deeply to me. I don't see global exposure as a resume booster, I see it as a worldview expander. Working in another country means learning how history, policy, and culture intersect differently than they do here. It means recognizing that the solutions I'm familiar with may not translate universally, and that listening is just as important as leading, and so is learning. As someone interested in people-centered leadership and systems-level change, international experience would push me to question my own assumptions and build cultural humility. It would also shape how I design policies, support teams, and advocate for equity in a way that is informed, contextual, and respectful of all. Ultimately, I just want to be a leader who understands complexity and is able to build those relations that are necessary to take our political systems to the next level. One of the experiences that tested my resilience came during a period when I was balancing intense academic demands with multiple leadership commitments. I had always prided myself on being dependable, but I had reached a point where I was stretched too thin, and I felt short of my own expectations. It was very uncomfortable to realize that working harder wasn't necessarily the answer, and it forced me to reassess how I defined strength. I learned that resilience isn't necessarily about pushing through at all costs and doing everything all at once. It's about knowing when to ask for support, when to recalibrate, and how to lead in a way that is sustainable. And since then, I've become more intentional about what I say and how I serve others, and I prioritize clarity, communication, and empathy because I understand how easily burnout can undermine even the best intentions. Finally, when I encounter perspectives that are different from my own, I try to engage with curiosity rather than defensiveness. I start by listening, not just purely to respond, but to understand where someone's views are coming from. In a place where so many cultures intersect and so many identities, it's important to acknowledge the multitude of viewpoints that you're going to experience, especially within leadership. I want to, listen and understand and ask questions, acknowledge those shared values, and identify where they exist. I also would like to remain open to the possibility that even my own perspective can evolve, which is why I seek global opportunities so that I can understand more about myself and how I can serve others in a way that is culturally competent. This approach doesn't mean avoiding disagreement by any means. It means treating disagreements as an opportunity for growth. Leaders who foster understanding don't erase differences, rather they create a space for them. And that's the kind of leadership I strive to practice because that is the leadership that is grounded, respectful, and committed to building bridges rather than reinforcing divides. At the core of all of this, my inspirations, my goals, my challenges, it's a belief that leadership is relational. It is shaped by history, through experience, and through humility. And it's the understanding that guides the impact I hope to make moving forward. Thank you.